What's up, guys? Welcome to the JP and Trav Show, JP and Trav YouTube channel. As always, it's your host with the most, JP. And to my right, I have my esteemed co-host, brother and friend, Travis J. Davidson. Travis, how you feeling, man?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. We got football back, baby.
We do. We do. We got a bunch of different games going on right now. Utah and Florida, Mizzou and South Dakota State, Minnesota and Nebraska. I haven't checked on that score in a little bit.
Hey, Nebraska was up 7-3 because I picked Nebraska in the Ref Royal Rumble to be my upsets pick and my against the spread pick. And Parker was trying to dunk on me in the chat saying, "Ooh, I wouldn't do that as a Nebraskan. I wouldn't do that." I wouldn't have won that one so bad.
Yeah, man, it's good. It's so good to have college football back. And I mean, our boys are about to play in less than 48 hours. So you have to be super duper excited about what we have coming up, and again, just the fact that we have college football on TV again. Guys, hit that like button. We're gonna talk a lot about obviously OU versus Arkansas State today. We're also going to talk a little bit about Dominic McKinley. We know that recruitment is finishing up tomorrow, and just talk about what we've heard a little bit. Try to give you guys some insight on that. Then we'll do some Q&A. But it is officially game week, guys. It is game week. We are playing Arkansas State at home, 11 a.m. Central Time. I saw the tweet that I think I saw George put it out there that there's a sign on Lindsay Street tailgating. There we go, man. So many fans have been clamoring for so long. Trav, let's dive into that a little bit before we really dive into the game. How important is that in and of itself for Oklahoma's football program?
Well, not only the tailgating, but the actual move of the Walk of Champions too, where they're walking down the tailgating. And it's the only thing that makes sense. They had to move it. Absolutely had to move it. It's big time. My question is, who's going to fill it up, right? Like, who's going to move? Because now people have gotten kind of, all settled into their spots. Well, now who's going to pick up a move? Some of the biggest tailgates, best tailgates, are they going to move? They're established. Like Sooner football fans, like a lot of the people that, out west and everything like that. Those are the best tailgaters. So you want them to be front and center. So we'll see. Hopefully the fraternities get involved like they did when I was in school there. Go out, set it up, and do it right because we need it, man. We need it.
We do. This is going to be our dry run right before we go into year one SEC next year. And when we get some of these big time programs coming into Norman, we want to show them what we're about, period. So that's definitely going to be an exciting time. I'm excited to hear some of the stories and see, what comes out of that tomorrow and into Saturday morning. Guys, make sure you give this video a like, thumbs up. Make sure you share it on Twitter. Let people know we're in here. I know a lot of people are wanting to watch some college football tonight. That is well and good. I know I got mine on a little bit in the background here, as I'm sure Trav does too. But get everybody else in here and let's talk a little bit about this week one game. Trav, how are you feeling about? Here's what I'll say. When we talk about games like these first 3 weeks, we really the I'm trying to think of the word I want to say, barometer is, or maybe the meter that you want to measure by is how much are we going to see Jackson Arnold? That's what I would say. Like, is that where we're going to be getting to, that we're in control in the second half and we get to see, the future of the Sooners? What are you thinking?
What'll be interesting is if they play it like that, right? Like if they have a package for him early, maybe. Like, I don't know whether that's a running package, whether that's kind of a full line change type situation like we saw at times last year. I don't think they're going to wait until they're up big to put him in. Yeah. Now, they might wait until they're up big to leave him in. But I feel like they want to get him in a decent amount, especially early on. And I think conspiracy theory coming out here, I think that might be why you saw guys like who we assumed would be 1A, 1B in the backfield. Well, it might be why you saw them be a 3 and 4 on the depth chart.
Mm-hmm.
Because the worst thing that can happen for a young guy you want to go get reps in garbage time is he has no support. Because you're on backup offensive line, you're on backup skill position, you're on backup this, that, and the other. You know, the starting offensive line is going to make gaps for anybody. And I think they want Jackson to look good in his first time out because this fan base is ruthless. If you go out and you have a bad first showing, they'll never forgive you. Never forgive you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think he'll be in actually pretty early. I think he'll be in the first half.
Okay.
Maybe not for good.
Right.
Maybe not for good.
You think we'll see?
But he'll at least have a snap in the first half.
You think we'll see some? That'd be awesome. And I would probably venture out to say that most people feel like you would say he's a better athlete than DG.
He's a different athlete than DG.
That's fair.
DG's shifty. He's smaller. I mean, he can run. Whereas Jackson Arnold, he's not as big, but he looks a little more Josh Allen-y. He's
Okay.
thicker.
Yeah.
He can take the hits a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a big arm. But this isn't like a situation where it's like we're putting in, a Kyler, behind a Blake Bell or something. It's like they're both athletic. They both can run. DG is going to get an opportunity to run this year, and he's going to show off some skills. If you remember, I believe the first touchdown last year was a DG run.
Nebraska? Or
He
no,
looked super shifty.
it was. Yeah, where he shifted. Yeah, he did shift that man.
Right.
Said stick shift. I mean, that was
Right.
nice.
I mean, it looked great.
Put the pause on him. Yeah, that was nice. Let's get into a little bit of what we want to see from the offense, and then we'll go defense too. I know we talked about our breakout candidates, but what are some? And I'll come back to the score prediction, guys, here in a little bit. What are we looking at when we think about like stats from each position, right? Like let's talk about who we feel like will have the best stats. What that looks like. Now that doesn't necessarily mean just because you have the best stats is a breakout performance, right? Because we could be talking about garbage time. But including garbage time or not, who do you feel like will have the most opportunity at each position? So let's start right with quarterback. What are we looking for out of that room, and who do you feel like will have the better opportunity to put up some numbers on Saturday?
So I'll put this in the article. Like I'm making my return to OU Insider with Cooking with Grill Boy. That'll be out tomorrow. But what I'm looking for is very much safeties with Arkansas Arkansas State. Hold on real quick. With Arkansas State, it's the safeties are their best. The corners are probably their second best. So I feel like the first team offense is just going to run. They have no depth. So I feel like Jackson will probably put up a better stat line relative to his playing time because I think we're going to really run the ball a lot with DG.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely think that that's fair. I think that DG, as you said before, Travis, DG is going to be in a position where he's going to run more freely, and we're going to see that offense used more, like we're used to seeing at a UCF or Ole Miss, what Jeff Lebby did, even with a Matt Corral. And not that, again, DG isn't a Matt Corral per se, but like in terms of his running prowess. But at the same time, he certainly can do a little bit. And so maybe even more than that, when I think of a little bit, I think it's Spencer Rattler, right? But he can definitely do more than him. And so, I'm excited to see what DG can do moving forward. But yeah, I agree. I think that Jackson may have an opportunity to kind of have more stats than DG. I guess we'll see. DG could hit a couple bombs early. Again, he may be able to take off a little bit as well. Sorry, trying to get over a little bit of a cold. But let's after that, let's go to running back. As Trav mentioned before, we do have Tavi Walker starting at running back, as well as Marcus Major. That was it was Marcus and Tawi, if I'm not mistaken. I think Marcus was first, and then it was Tawi. I believe they were an or at that point, and then it was or Javante Barnes and Gavin Sawchuk. And so obviously, we've seen Gavin Sawchuk go through a little bit of injuries throughout fall camp in the summer. Javante Barnes, same thing, had surgery and everything like that. Both of them hopefully bounce back and be healthy. I think that's what this is about. You got four backs that clearly the staff feels super good about. Um, I think each of them, I don't know if Sawchuk's going to be available. And, Trav, when you get an opportunity to hop back in here, maybe you can speak to that a little bit if you know more about Sawchuk's availability. But, I think that all of them are going to have an opportunity, right? I'm excited to see what Marcus looks like. That's the one thing that if you've been on the JP and Trav show, if you're a JP and Trav show stan, you know that Marcus Major, definitely gets talked about in some ways over here in terms of he's been here forever, right? You know, Travis has always said Marcus Major, always has that hype at the beginning, and now what have we seen? And so that's what he wants to see ultimately before Travis really gets on board. And I would say the same thing. I mean, Marcus has always looked the part. JD Reynolds obviously kind of put him in a position to where he had to, you know, be a beast because he said, man, it's the closest guy I've seen to AD, and that's a lot of pressure. But if he can stay healthy, man, I'm looking forward to what he looks like. And then, Tyree Walker, been hearing great reports about him at a camp 5'9". I mean, low center of gravity, 220, I think. And, really, I saw a quote the other day that I felt like, hey, this guy could be like a Samaje Perine type. Not saying he's going to be Samaje, but the way he was described, low center of gravity, well built, not afraid to run over people, has great feet for, how stout he is. Made me think of Samaje. Certainly, some people say Ramondre Stevenson, but Ramondre is a little bit taller of a back. I think he's more 6 foot. So, but to get to the actual question, I think that I'm going to go on a limb. I want you guys to answer this with us too. I think that for running back, I'm going to go with Tyree Walker. I think Tyree's going to have something to prove on Saturday, and I want to see if he can get over that 100-yard mark. And as a unit, I want y'all to drop this in the chat too. How many yards do you think we'll get as a unit this Saturday? I'm saying 250. That's what I like to see. 250, I think, is a successful day, more than successful day. If we get up to that 300 mark, then more power to us. How about wide receiver? I'm really interested to see what you guys have to say about this wide receiver. 250 says Matt. Frankie Williams says 325. Yeah, hey, 325 would be nice. Major has the biggest day at running back, probably 250. Yeah. They truly play Major and Walker. The most Major will get is over 100. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, it sounds like Levy said they're going to play all four backs, right? So you have to think we'll see everybody again trying to, pin down if Sawchuk is available or not. 300, 275 rushing. Tawi with 4 trucks and 95 yards. Yes, sir. 420. Woo. Yeah, Gunny. I know you think that. If we can get up to 420 rushing yards, actually, though, that'd be crazy. 300. All good numbers. Hey, let's talk about the wide receivers a little bit. We didn't even talk about Caleb Hicks. I mean, that's how deep we are, right? Like, think about everything we've been hearing about Caleb Hicks this summer, and that man not even on the 4 deep. Isn't that crazy? That's insane. Wide receiver. Matt says he likes Andrew Anthony, and that is a name I've been hearing a lot, guys. Like, last year it felt like we really only had that one burner in Marvin that we could throw out there and feel comfortable with. But this year, Andrew, I feel like can be that Marvin type, but then you also got Jaquez Petaway. You got Gavin Freeman, who's a burner. Excuse me. Then you got some in between guys, possession guys like Nick Anderson. You got Jaden Gibson, who's long and athletic. You got Drake Stoops, who's a slot guy, right? You got L.V. Bunkley Shelton. I mean, again, some of these guys are unproven, but at the end of the day, man, you have to be excited about what we could potentially see from them. Um, let's see. Nick Anderson, you feel like he's gonna have? Is that what you're saying? You feel like he's gonna have the best time? That'd be cool. Anthony and G Freaky. Excuse me. Sorry. Jaden Gibson. I think Nick Anderson will be a big receiver over the year. Definitely fair. Hey, Trav.
Sorry, I missed the running back talk.
Yeah, no, real quick.
I've been on hold with Hulu for like 20 minutes, and they finally was like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "Y'all couldn't be here earlier. Appreciate you."
Timing.
So
Amazing timing.
I was listening along though with the running back, seeing the comments, all that kind of stuff. Gunny with his 420 rushing yards, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, I don't think probably I think he lets maybe some of the young guys rest a little bit if he can. As far as rest, I'm thinking like namely Gavin Sawchuk and maybe a little bit of Javonte Barnes. But, I mean, get those guys fresh. Here's the thing. We all know that Texas is the game that's circled.
Mm-hmm.
Texas has to go to Alabama. Let's make sure that we are damn near bubble wrapped and ready to go by the time we get to Texas. And like I said, the run defense of Arkansas State, not good. Their secondary – their secondary is the only thing that's worth a damn.
Yeah. So you think did you say how many yards you think we could get up to?
Just rushing?
Yeah.
How much did we rush for last year in the opener? Do you remember?
I don't. I can look it up real quick.
I got it. Hold on. Because we led the Big 12 in rushing. So, somebody's gonna put it out there. Against UTEP, we won 45-13. And just as a score summary, not box score. Team, there we go. So we only rushed for 259.
You said 200 how much?
We rushed for 259 against UTEP. Okay. I think we go over that.
Okay. I like that. Especially, hey, I saw Bob Stoops, K-Ref posted what Bob Stoops had said earlier about Bill Bedenbaugh and how obviously Bill's never happy, but
if he's happy, yeah, right.
That was funny. So yeah, definitely. Wide receivers, that's where we were. I think that you could see Gavin. I think you can see Gavin Freeman have a big day just all around, because obviously we know they're going to use him as a gadget player, but also he'll be in the slot too. So I think like all purpose wise, Gavin probably would. But if we're talking about just receiving, I don't know. I'd probably go with Andrella Jaquez Petaway.
Well, I feel like Gavin. It's one of those things. They've been gassing him up like crazy. He's apparently been performing very well, and he just got on scholarship. Yeah. Like the vibes are at an all-time high. He's going to want to be out there going crazy. Yeah, I think Gavin is a good candidate to lead the skill position players in yardage, total yards.
Yeah. All right, let's slide over. The tight end room is kind of obvious. Stog is really feel like the only option you can have there. And then going into the offensive line, obviously we can talk about pancakes all we want, but really just looking for some solid play all the way around. No busts, no sacks given up, and looking for a solid, time from that unit. Going defensive side of the ball, who do we think? Let's just talk defensive line in general. Who do y'all think is going to have the most sacks on Saturday?
Rondell Bothroyd.
How many?
He will have 2.5 sacks.
2.5 sacks. Whew. That'd be starting off with a bang.
Hey, he's got the most career sacks by far of anybody on the OU roster.
It's true.
I mean, again, it's not close. So, yeah, I mean, I'm thinking him, and I think that he plays himself into. I mean, he plays himself into some conversations like all conference, national type conversations. I think he's that good.
A lot of people are saying R. Mason. Some people are saying Trace Ford. R. Mason, Rondell, Reggie with 3. Wow.
Wow. Okay, State 5.
How much are we going to see Reggie? That's the real question, if I'm being honest. Because isn't he like 3rd? Now, that's depth. We have depth, which is amazing.
Tons of depth.
But if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure he was 3rd on the depth chart that I saw. Which shows you how far we have come, because, he was running with first teamers at the beginning of the year at this time last year.
Ooh, Nebraska knocking on the door again. Apparently, Nebraska going to get me the 2 for 2. We need Nebraska to hold up. Yeah, I think PJ gets a sack because I think he'll be in there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. They're going to let him pin his ears back.
Let's talk about if you're the second string Arkansas State offensive line, the last thing you want to see after dealing with our whole edge room is that avatar looking motherfucker.
Oh my
we're
God.
Demonetized. We're not monetized, but that avatar looking dude coming off the bench.
Facts.
Like, I would be terrified. Can you imagine the tackles? Like, dog, I've been getting pushed around by Ethan Downs and Rondell Bothroyd and all these guys for the last 3 quarters, and now I got this guy. Oh, the 5-star's coming in now? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. You about to just long arm me? Like, about to make me feel like a baby? You about to baby me?
They're going to run to the other side every game or every down. They're like, hey, we're running right.
That's so funny. Let's go linebackers. I mean, who we looking to see? I mean, obviously, we want to see some TFLs, if we can. And we can throw some DTs in there if you want to as well, who maybe we can see some of the most TFLs from, whether it's Jordan Kelly.
If we win the line of scrimmage,
yeah,
the defensive tackles just need to shut down 3rd and 1s and 4th and 1s.
Yeah.
That will be the best stat of the day.
For them.
Because that was where we struggled so much last year.
Yeah. And hopefully we're in less and less short yardage situations too, be able to create pressure on 1st and 2nd down and do what we need to do, walking them up. But I'm excited to see Jaren Kanak, Trav. I am. Like, we've been talking about that dude for a year, and it's been like
ever since Nebraska last year, especially.
Oh, I feel like it's been a long time coming, and to think that's what he looked like as a true freshman, what does he look like now? And again, he's still gonna have some bumps in the road. Let's just be real. He's still gonna have some bumps in the road.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see what they look like. I almost want to call them, the Saiyan brothers or something like that, because they dyed their hair. Maybe do a little fusion.
My favorite part about that picture is Phil Picciotti hanging out in the back.
In the back with the blonde,
bleached hair.
Yeah. Like they made me.
Looks like the little brother that they brought with.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you gotta do something. He's like, fine, I'll get it bleached.
Kanak with 1.5 sacks. I
let him go.
I love to see that. Did you say will they let him go?
I'm saying if they let him attack.
No, right, exactly. I mean, he's playing Mike, y'all. You got to realize that the Mike is much less of an attacker at that position. The Will is more of that, and goes sideline to sideline. So that's what Danny really is going to be doing. Not that Kanak won't or can't, but he's going to be in the middle of that defense, making sure people where they're supposed to be. Which I think is even more impressive in my opinion. Like, that they trust him and Mike as a true sophomore. Especially after he's
We'll see if that doesn't move around sometime in the year, but
yeah. But Cheetah. Obviously, we got Justin Harrington, Deshaun McCullough. So that's a little in between. We'll see what they get. Maybe they get some pass breakups. Maybe they get some sacks. Right? Maybe they have some TFLs themselves. But I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like. Because
Ooh, State 5 asked a good question. What do you think? What do you think? Who has the most picks this year?
I'm gonna go Billy Bowman.
Ah,
Man,
that's what I was going to take.
I'm gonna go Billy Bowman, and the reason why is because I got to see with my own eyes last year when I was at Bedlam. I got to see this man have range. I mean, come from the middle of the field and pick off literally a sideline pass to Spencer Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was
That would have been a
crazy.
walk-in touchdown.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy to me. So I'm like, man, if he got range like that, he's able to stay healthy. He's in his second year in the system. So
I think everybody's going Billy, and I think that's probably the safe money. I think that's a really good answer.
Yeah.
But I'm going Gentry, man. I think Woody's going to be corner one, and everybody's going to try and pick on Gentry on the other side. And he's got world-class speed.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to jump some routes. He's got good ball skills. He played wide receiver. He played both ways in high school. I mean, he played quarterback in high school. I mean, the kid's just an athlete. He's a playmaker. I'm going with the 918, Gentry Williams.
I can't wait to see what he looks like, man. I mean, you talked about him for years. So I'm excited to see.
Kid's an athlete.
Oh yeah. And Gabe and Teddy were talking about just if you look at the cornerback room in general, like you got
they look like linebackers.
You got J-Ro, right? You got, I mean, it's crazy. Obviously Woody's out there. I'm just excited about the defense in general. Let's just be real. I mean,
did anybody? So I don't know if anybody has the Florida game on, but earlier Florida's getting their butts kicked, and ESPN did a studio look into the Arizona State game, and Jaden Rashada threw a 45-yard bomb.
Ooh.
Like, that's got to feel bad. Rashada, obviously committed to Florida. They screwed up the NIL thing. Now he goes out to Arizona State, and while they're getting destroyed, they do the live look into Arizona State. Looking good with him.
Looking good.
I wish we were in a recruiting battle with Florida right now. That's what I need.
You want to see some of their fans talk some stuff?
They look real bad.
Yeah. Indeed they do. All right, guys, let's jump to these score predictions. Then we'll talk some Dominic McKinley and get some more questions in here. Trav, what are you thinking, man?
Score prediction. I'm going to go 52-10. And I know 10 points. A lot of people are like, oh, 10 points, defense, sucks again if we give up 10 points to this school. Not necessarily, man. Like 10 points, that's pretty good, especially with the amount of times you're going to score, how many, possessions you're going to give them. So, and we're going to have a bunch of young guys in there late. Like, there could be a garbage score late.
Yeah. You just don't know. 52-10, is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 48-7. 48-7. Got a lot of 10s in here. I've got a 0.
Yeah, a lot of good defense.
Mm-hmm. $45-7, huh, Gunny? Hey, three off of me.
I'm so surprised it wasn't 42-0 for Gunny. Get that 420.
Yeah. Stephen G said
69-0. Steven said that earlier too. Steven's been wanting to get that prediction in all show.
Oh, we beat them 45-7 2000. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if it's a 45-7 situation, we got to really pay attention to these coincidences.
That's wild if that happens.
Because it's lefty quarterback, coach in his second year with Kansas State ties.
Yep.
19 in the coaches poll
Mm-hmm.
preseason. Arkansas State on the schedule. I'd have to think about what other ones, but it's a lot of coincidii.
Going to die.
Yeah, this McKinley, I've been checking my phone. This McKinley recruitment, nobody's going to know anything tonight. But it's truly going to be a situation where tomorrow's fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting if we get them. It's going to suck if we don't, just like it should be.
Yep. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But let's be real. Would this not just be icing on the cake at this point?
It wouldn't be icing on the cake for Ohio State or for
That's
Georgia,
true. That's
for
fair.
Alabama or for Clemson or any other school.
Yeah,
We need to raise our standards to those schools. Now,
Yeah.
the defensive line class, if we were to sign everybody except McKinley and Winery, would still be an elite defensive line class. But it wouldn't even be the best defensive line class in the last couple of years nationwide. And it would be maybe the best of the OU recruiting era, like in the modern era. So with that, we've got to, you got to win the ones you're in, man.
Yeah.
That's what the other schools do.
True.
Alabama had 9 5-stars last year. 9. We haven't had 9 5-stars the last, 6 years combined?
Probably.
7 years combined? Let's see. Buki wasn't a 5-star composite. Trajan Bridges was not a 5-star composite. You've got Jaden Hazelwood, Theo Weiss, Caleb Williams, Spencer Rattler, Bray Walker. Obviously, PJ, Peyton, Jackson.
Was Billy a 5-star?
Huh?
Billy Bowman?
No. High 4-star, like top 100 player. So you would have to go back, not including this class. Pretty sure you would have to go back to the Stoops era. Was Clayton Smith a consensus 5-star?
I think he was.
I thought he was just on the service.
Maybe it might have just been like ESPN, actually.
I could be totally wrong. No, he was composite. He was the 38th player. So not a 5-star. So no, Clayton Smith was not a 5-star. But that being said, you'd have to go back all the way into the Stoops era to find 9 total.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And you're looking at a decade nearly, and Alabama got that in one class. So, that being said, got to start recruiting.
Yeah. Got to. You got to start winning, too. That obviously will continue to
We'll start winning this year.
Yeah. Hey, I'm with it. We need it after last year.
Ryan, I do believe that it was in reference to McKinley. I don't think it's in the back. I don't think it was – I think it was wishful a bit. I think it was meant for McKinley to see it and kind of prod him a little bit. Like, hey, just saying, you're next. Almost like calling his shot like that, because it was not a situation where McKinley was a silent at the time or anything like that. But I do think that's who he was referring to.
All right, guys, let's get into some Q&A, some questions. Y'all have some good ones in the chat. Let's roll down them and chat it up.
I think my mom's set up here somewhere that McKinley's coming. So if Sue puts in the crystal ball, then
hey, You know what
Sue
you're
said
talking
we were getting. Sue said we were getting stoned. I sent the video to Tyler. It's like, as long as Sue Davidson says we're getting him, we'll get him.
about. That's a fact. That's a fact. She knows her stuff.
Bates has 4 or 5 touchdowns tonight. Wow. I know Parker's there, right? 'Cause I think Parker took a video.
Jesse James said she was more powerful than Fong.
Yes. Yes.
Getting Fong, getting sued.
25 minutes ago, Parker says Andy Bass saunters in the end zone for his 5th total touchdown of the evening, and he got fired up after crossing the goal line. Heritage Hall leaves 34-8 in the third quarter behind a dominant effort from Bass.
Dang.
Man, 5.
All right, guys. Let's pop some questions up in here. Just see some comments. Let's get some cues. I know we had a couple back here that I'll try to grab and pull up. His commitment, I believe, is at 3:30 Central Time. If I'm not mistaken, Trav.
Yep. I think it's 3:30. I'll have to check with Tristan Lundy. But I do think it's 3:30. Bricks. I mean,
you think he gone?
The longer it drags out, the worse it is for OU. But if the offensive line plays well this year, I mean, it's just the OU can't do anything more than what they're doing, and Nebraska can't do anything more than what they're doing because it's very obvious. If the kid wants to be an NFL football player, he's going to go to OU. If he wants to be a farmer, he's going to go to Nebraska. But the thing is, he might really want to be a farmer more than he wants to be an NFL football player.
Yeah.
I mean, with that, like, Nebraska has a better ag program. Nebraska's closer. He can visit Nebraska all the time. OU has a better coach, better legacy, better offensive line coach. You know, going to play in the SEC. Like, again, all of the football considerations really lean Oklahoma's way.
Yeah.
All of the local, let's go South Dakota, 28-10.
Uh-oh.
Threatening.
Hey.
I need them just to put a scare in them. Give me a 17-28.
We're a scare. Hey, but, you know, Williams about to change that program. If he was there, they wouldn't be, you know, they wouldn't be happening.
Mm-hmm. GoPro finance the farm. That's funny. Bussy is taking a visit. Bussy will be here this weekend.
Oh, Bussy's coming?
Yep.
Like that.
We need Emmett Jones to pull his version of Dominic McKinley.
Yes. But it's in one we don't think we'd ever get in.
Most concerning thing we talk about next week. JP, you start.
Hopefully, you know, making sure that Nigel Smith is, you know, still locked in and going to be a Sooner. I would hope so, because if we're talking
about the game,
we're talking about somehow an L, which, you know, that would be the most concerning thing for me. If
we take an L, I'm not sure we got an episode next week.
That's true. That is very true. If we take an L, we might just be.
I'm gonna be busy.
I don't know. Yeah, I'll be busy.
I'm gonna be busy that day.
That's a fact. Oh man.
I would have to. I'd have to delete my Twitter.
Yeah,
it'd be bad.
That's why I said. That would be crazy. We not lose to no Middle Tennessee State types out here.
The reason I feel Laulu will be an effective starter is because of his leadership. That's what Brett said. He said we needed a leader in that room. He's put on weight and he looks good still. He looks like he can carry the weight.
Yeah.
He's got the second most sacks, I believe, of any like career sacks of anybody on the team. I think it goes Bothroyd, Laulu, Grimes, and then Ford. I think that's the order. But yeah, I mean, I think Laulu will be good, and he doesn't need to be a 90 snap a game guy.
Yeah.
You've got 4 guys on that rotation that they trust. You know, they didn't really trust that many people last year, and they had said that.
It's the difference.
You got Coe, who's going to play himself into the draft probably. Kelly, who's been there forever, and he's lifting the second most on the team right now. He feels great. He loves Bates. Every time I talk to him, he talks to me how much he loves Bates. He's really enjoying learning from him. And then you got DJ Terry, who's going to stuff the run, something we couldn't do last year in short yardage situations. And then Laulu, you can rotate those 4 through, go with the hot hand if you need it. If they like a matchup, go with it. But, I mean, I really like what they have on the inside. And then you add kiddos like Grayson Halton, Kelvin Gilliam in there, and then maybe a little Jacob Lacey getting healthy. Yeah, the interior is leaps and bounds better than what it was.
Yeah, that's crazy, thinking about the names that are in that room and the depth that's there. Think about Grayson being like your 5th option. It's crazy right now. State 5 Stinks asked Travis, what are your thoughts on a pit boss? I'm going to go grab some water, and then you can answer that.
Pit boss, I assume you mean the smoker. I mean, it works well. You know, it's all kind of preference. I like to cook on cans. My dad's a hasty bake guy. He loves those. So I'll always support the hasty bake. But I like Gateway drum smokers. Pit Boss has all those capabilities where it makes it very easy on you. I've got a buddy with a green egg. He likes it, but again, it's Bluetooth this, timers that. It's supposed to be it's easier. So, but I mean, I've heard no bad things about the Pit Bosses. My dad, since I can't click on the questions, you can look over into the chat. But if you share a last name with me, I might give you priority. So, who has ventured through Arkansas State's portal? Anyone we should be concerned about? Any 3 or 4 stars sneaking up on us? What's funny about Arkansas State, and this will be in my OU Insider article, but it's a little bit last chance you-ish. You've got a former 5-star running back, I believe. You've got a quarterback that started at Tennessee, then went to Colorado. Deion said, I'm bringing my Louis, which really meant he was bringing his son. And now he's at Arkansas State. You've got even the coach, Butch Jones, right? Last chance you is what it feels like after how his career has gone. You've got in the defensive backfield, you've got, now Power 5 transfers and whatnot. They've really done a good job. They've got 32 transfers. 32 transfers as Florida scores. But, yeah, Arkansas State's got some talent on paper. It's just they've got a lot of people that haven't done anything in college football, and that's why they ended up at Arkansas State.
I missed your answer on the Pit Boss question. What'd you say?
I have no bad things to say about it. I like cooking on cans. My dad cooks on hasty bakes. To each their own. But I've heard nothing bad about Pit Bosses.
Yeah. What question did you hit last? I'll try to go from there.
Oh, my dad asking about who would come through the Arkansas State's portal. Gotcha. Just talking about they got some talent on the team.
They do.
A former 5-star. They've got former Tennessee players, Alabama player, Butch.
They got some good backs too. Okay. Did we see this one? Is Boganowski visiting this weekend? Have you heard that?
I think so. I need to relook at my list. Need to find my list and relook at it. But Yeah, I believe he should be there. And that's kind of another thing too, man. It's like there's nothing OU can do to like get in the way of him and his dad's relationship, specifically his dad's relationship with the Kansas City or with the Kansas State linebacker coach that is extremely close and helped recruit and coach Michael's dad.
Yeah.
The only difference is, I mean, I've known this since like I don't even think it was signing day last year. And I was talking, I think, with Brandon and Parker and some of those guys, like Boganowski has always been the number one safety on their board.
Mm-hmm.
They were the first to offer him at safety. I think they might be the only school that still wants him at safety. That's what he wants to play. They liked him over Xavier Filsaime. They liked him over, Hardy. They liked him over Flowers. They literally, all those guys on their board, they liked Michael Boganowski over all of them. So, yeah. I don't know. It would be a bummer if you prioritize Michael Boganowski for an entire year and put him above every other target that you had, and you were the ones recruiting him at safety, believed in him, first safety offer, everything like that, and he decided to go to Kansas State. It would suck. But it's on the table because of his dad's relationships, and that's nothing you can do about those.
Yeah. Matt Hayes asks if does Texas, make a run at the playoffs this year if they beat OU? I don't think that has any bearing because they've beaten us a handful of times over the years, and they haven't they beat us 49-0 last year, and they were still 8-5. So,
and they have they have a much tougher schedule than Oklahoma.
Yep. Much tougher.
Got to see what they do against Bama in Tuscaloosa after everybody's doubting Nick Saban.
Yeah.
With 35 stars on his team, or 30 something in the last 4 classes.
Crazy. To be honest with you, it needs to be.
Yeah, Koya's official starts tomorrow. So after the game on the 1st, it starts. His official is technically the 1st through the 3rd.
For Danny
Okoye, yep.
Matt, if this question was flipped, it made more sense to me if the Oklahoma make a run at playoff if they beat Texas. I think if we beat Texas,
absolutely,
I think that's a fact. I do. How does the Sooner beer taste, Trav?
Good enough to have another one. Good enough to have another one. That's the best endorsement you can have.
Yeah.
A return customer.
Yeah.
A return customer is the best review you can have.
Are you expecting to see any intermediate passes? I was listening.
Gunny loves this question. Gunny been asking this question for 6 months. Yes, I do.
How much though?
A lot, especially with Andrew Anthony on slants and things like that.
Yeah,
I think that Stogner is going to be that guy that just kind of bodies people up, plays that post move. And yeah, I think you see a lot of intermediate stuff.
Yeah. It's interesting. I was listening to the breakdown, and Gabe said something that you think about, but the offense at its core is run first, throw it over your head. Like that's more what it's about.
Yeah, they're going to run the ball a ton, and especially if they let DG run.
Yeah, right. But then it's like obviously there's room for the intermediate stuff, and there will be, but their ideal would be certainly to hey, I'm gonna pound down your throat, make you become cover 1, cover 0, which apparently Arkansas State does a little bit of, and then we're gonna have Andrew Anthony or Gavin Freeman and Sly, whoever, busted up your face, up the seams, and let's have.
I just can't imagine having to deal with late game Caleb Hicks, late game Tawi Walker once we get deeper into the season, like late game PJ Adebawore. Like that's gonna suck, dude. That's gonna suck.
Fresh legs, man. That's what it's all about. Who do you think will be the TCU of last year to this year? I mean, it could be us. Shoot.
Jacob Lacey's dad told me that we're going to be. I ran into them at after church one day at Winston, and he said, "Look, man, we love it here. We couldn't be happier here." He said, "We're next year's TCU. We're next year's TCU." He kept on saying that over and over. I'm like, "All right, I feel you, man. I'm a believer."
Wow. Let's see what other questions we got in here. Who on the O-line would you not want them getting your hands on you? I mean, most of not all of them.
Savion Byrd. No, Savion Byrd's nasty.
You said that so quick. Savion, absolutely.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Yeah, he's a
no, that guy's mean. There's a reason. Like I said, last year he was spraying water balls at fans at TCU. Like, that dude wants a fight. Like, he's trying to fight people. So it's like, I don't want to give him one. I don't want to give him the opportunity to fight me.
Yeah, that's true. How do you think Levy/Venables handles the new clock format? I mean, it's not. It changes things a little bit. Obviously,
I haven't thought about it at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's more time that runs off quicker, but I feel like it still doesn't change your philosophy in terms of what you're doing in certain situations. Like, they know and are prepared that there's not going to be, the clock's not going to stop after first down. I think they know that. So we'll have to see.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I hope our clock management in general is better. And by Brent Venables saying that, and I think some of that is we'll have better depth, competitive depth, one might even say. But I don't know. It came back to bite us last year because we weren't good enough in short yardage situations. We couldn't get off the field and we couldn't extend drives. That's where timing hurt us. If we do one of those two things, alone both of them, then they can run it just like they did last year and it won't be a problem. They just need to be able to adjust. Like, they need to have the wherewithal to understand that.
Yeah. Yep. We need a year good enough for JB to have another viral dancing video. What was that, like 3 years ago now that I did that? I don't even know what year.
I don't know. I sent it to you the other day,
yeah. Hey, that's going to be a fun time. Got it taken off. Excited to have some bourbon. All right. Who else we got? Who besides Staub will get playing time at tight end? I mean, you would think Blake Smith, and who else? It's the only other name I really know in that room right now. Because Helms and Llewellyn are hurt.
I hope Cade McIntyre does.
Ooh.
I'm a big Cade McIntyre guy.
He's physically
ready. You just got to get mentally ready.
Friend of the show.
Yeah, friend of the program, friend of the show. Cade McIntyre. That dude never stops smiling.
He does. He doesn't. Listen, if we win a Big 12 championship, I'll make another video. There you go. Y'all heard it here first.
If we beat Texas.
If we beat Texas, I will do a video. That's a fact. And they will hate it, but I won't care.
Nebraska
any other questions?
10-3. OUD is going to put a bowl on bread and water.
You said what?
I'm just reading comments.
Oh.
Ryan C. trying to look out for me. But hot take.
Let's hear it.
I prefer beer out of a can. I can trust that this is exactly how they wanted me to drink it.
Yeah.
We clean our taps. I don't trust people to clean their taps, man. You have to care for your taps. A lot of people think they get headaches from drinking draft beer. A lot of it's because people aren't cleaning their taps. Ask them to run a toothpick inside the nozzle on their keg or on their handle. You don't want to see it. Don't want to see it. So, just saying. I will stick to the can. It's the exact same every single time.
Topher says thoughts on Daniel Akinkunmi. Yep. Hopefully I said that right. It's a mouthful.
Yeah, Akinkunmi.
Akinkunmi.
You know, you'd like to think he's underrated because of lack of exposure, but Bill Bedenbaugh is Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. 405, Mr. Worldwide. I mean, I would love for him to bring him home. It'd be dope.
Yeah.
And he does like long YouTube videos. Like 45-minute YouTube videos.
Just talking?
No, like reviewing his visits and like putting in footage from his visits. Like, yeah, like they're well done.
Like a hang time type of like vlog. Okay.
Yeah, like life in the day in the life of a, offensive line recruit or whatever.
That's awesome. All right, guys, 4 minutes left. Any more questions?
All these people wanting to get sick off some seasoned taps.
Ew.
Plus, that can's so gorgeous.
Seasoned. What does that even mean? 129. It's not an iron skillet.
It's seasoned with love. Unfortunately, South Dakota gave the ball up. They had the ball. Even a 28-10 with South Dakota, Missouri.
Come on now.
I would like that. Because it'd be 28. I think their spread was 28.5.
Yeah.
I'd enjoy that. I'm eating popcorn, Frankie. But I put a ton of hot sauce on it.
Oh. Little kick.
I put hot sauce on everything, man. Although I do have a little snack that I might have for dessert. The smallest box of Mike and Ike's you ever seen.
Mike and Ike watermelon?
They're 30 cents down at the DGX under my building. I'm like, 30 cents? I can't afford not to buy those. You can hardly walk down the street for 30 cents anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Williams, where he goes this week. Hey.
Depends. Are they wearing white or black?
Your guess is as good as mine. Maybe he'll rep the Mizzou colors after this big win over South Dakota State.
Uh-oh, Nebraska just fumbled the ball at midfield.
I saw that. There's 4 minutes left. Ooh,
I need to be able to talk crap to Parker because he was picking on me for my Nebraska pick.
What did you say?
So the Ref Royal Rumble, which I won last year in my first year, we do a pick 'em where you pick 2 games a week, an upset special, which is 5-point underdog to win outright, and then you pick any team to just cover the spread. So it's rare to pick a team to do both. I picked the 7.5-point dog Nebraska Cornhuskers as both the upset special and to cover. So I was feeling froggy. And then Parker jumped in the text and was like, as somebody from Nebraska, I would advise against that. And I was like, and then I think Drake was the one that was like, Drake text was like, are you trying to mansplain the defending champion on his picks? I was like, yeah, Drake, way to stick up for me, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Drake's a real one, man. Drake cracks me up, man. He's the engineer, and he's low key like he's hilarious, and he'll hop on air and he'll do this, that, and the other, and like I don't know, he's hilarious.
Yeah.
And Nebraska just got away with a defensive pass interference and probably a late hit on the quarterback. Got away with it. Oh,
I saw that.
no.
I saw that too.
Out of bounds.
Hey,
It's gonna be fourth down.
Nebraska playing like Baylor when he was there.
It's bad that It's bad because I should be rooting for the Gophers since I'm from Minnesota.
You are.
But Mom, Dad, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, we're about.
I call Drake Peel Bacon to TJ Paris. Bro, Gunny's been sending texts in at like 3:30 in the morning, 4 in the morning to the text line, and then
go to sleep.
and
Are you
then-
working or something? Why are you up?
yeah, he worked.
Okay.
But it'll be him like drinking a beer at 3:30 in the morning, and it'll be like TJ Perry doesn't have a hair on his ass if he doesn't read this text on the air. I swear, man, everybody needs to get on Gunny's level, man. He is the most SEC ready fan that Oklahoma has.
That's what I'm talking about. That's our guy. Oh man. Well, looks like we're gonna get off of here and try to watch this Nebraska Minnesota ending.
On a 4th and 1.
Is it a fight? Uh-oh.
Fight. Somebody fighting?
You'll see.
I'm sorry, Dad. Like I said, I'm sorry. It's nothing personal against the Gophers.
You said you should be ashamed.
It's just I need the pick.
You said
Got
I
a
raised you
reputation.
better
Got the
than
Davidson reputation. Oh,
Talk to him.
All right. Don't talk to Aunt Linda. We don't vote for the Gophers. Talk to Aunt Linda. Oh, I'll need to talk to Aunt Linda.
Yeah.
All leg says.
Well, next week, let's hope we're talking about a big time W.
Big time dub.
Breaking down the game. That's gonna be fun, and yeah, we'll get into a lot more then. Maybe, probably not. Maybe good news tomorrow. We'll see. I don't know, but appreciate y'all. Love y'all.
Love y'all.
Boomer.
Boomer.